Sorry, I was muted. I said, hey y'all, and then I said, who says y'all? And I said, Lindsay, raise your hand.
Yep.
Yes. No one else? No other y'alls out there? Huh?
You're answering Colorado, don't say y'all.
Y'all. Yuns, guys. When I lived in Ohio, we said yuns.
Oh my God, I thought that was a Pennsylvania thing.
It might be Pennsylvania too, but we do. We said yuns guys coming over.
I
would you
dated a
spell
guy.
that?
What's that?
How would you spell that? Because in Chicago, it's yous guys.
Yeah, I know yous guys. Yuns would be just Y-U-N-S. Yuns.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. I got my camera to work today.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We can see your face. Good. All right. I keep hearing dings. Who else is coming in? Hello. Ann is coming. Hey, Ann.
Hi.
Hi. I bet Ann says y'all, don't you? You say y'all?
Michigan. I do not say y'all.
What do you say? What do you say?
You? I don't know. You guys?
You guys? You guys?
What's wrong with y'all?
Yeah, what's wrong with y'all?
Ain't nothing wrong with y'all. You just say y'all.
That's right. Cool. Okay. So let's see. I don't know if anybody else is coming in, but welcome, guys. And today we are going to go over some of your homework that you guys submitted and just have a discussion. And I think it's going to give, if you didn't finish it or you want to go back to it, that's perfectly fine. And I think just getting some clarity and seeing some of the others that submitted will kind of help you guys get some clarity too. And then depending on how long that part takes, I really would like to show you guys a video for the next step. And which really becomes, it's really the audience research piece. And so that is kind of like where you guys are like, okay, I know who I want to work with, or I think I know who I want to work with, but how do I find them? And how do I know what to say to attract them, right? So that is the next piece. And then what we're going to do after that, and the video is actually a little bit of it is Aaron Fletcher, and then I'm going to cut it and go to one of his staff people, his staff members that actually does that. That's her job, is doing the audience research for their clients. And first of all, I just want you to hear in her voice that she's doing what she was called in life to do, because you hear the excitement in her voice. And it's like, if we can get that excited, and it's literally doing research online and putting it into a spreadsheet. Like some of you guys would be like, oh my God, that's the worst thing ever. But she just gets so excited and passionate about it. And I just love it. So I want you to see that. And then I'm going to see if you guys want to come over into Remo anytime in the next 2 weeks. Like you guys can pop in there. Kathy's in the coffee shop in there now. Elizabeth was just in there. Where you can come in there and connect with each other, whether I'm there or not. That's one of the things I love about Remo. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for me to start a meeting. You can just go over there and just pop in and be like, "Hey, Kathy, what you drinking?" and just chit chat if you want to, and get help and get ideas. Hey, Carrie. Hi, welcome. I bet Carrie says y'all. Carrie, do you say y'all? A little bit. Okay. So anyway, that was a little side note. So anyway, we're going to look at frameworks, discuss, brainstorm. Who's willing to raise your hand and show yours on screen? Heidi?
I guess I could. I don't know if I did it right.
Okay, that's okay. And it doesn't matter if you did it right or not. We're going to actually go through it point by point and maybe tweak a couple little things. So I want all of you to go back, whether you did it, didn't do it, did it right or whatever, go back and just continue working on it to get some more clarity. So Catherine's just joining in. Hey, Catherine, I saw your little name pop up. I know Catherine doesn't say y'all. You're muted. We were just saying, I just said, y'all, hey, y'all. And I said, who on here says y'all besides me? So yeah. Oh, you do? Oh,
my mother's family's from Mississippi.
Okay, that explains it. Okay.
It's very funny when she says something like this. I went to the store. And I'm like, who's I?
Ah.
I.
I went to the store.
I.
Exactly. So excellent. So I've got Heidi, I've got Lynn. How about you, Michelle?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
share.
Okay, awesome. We're talking about who's willing to share your framework for. We're not going to do the business plan. We're going to do the avatar framework and the avatar snapshot and your little niches. What do you guys say? Niche.
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 Okay. I rest my case. Either one goes. Excellent. Okay, why don't we start with Heidi? So can you pull yours up?
So,
And I'm just going to spend like maybe 5 minutes. I could literally spend an hour, 3 hours with each of you on it, but let's just spend like 5 minutes on each of yours.
so I just do share and then
Yeah. Yep. Click share, and then it'll give you an option of which screen to share or application, and then click the one that has your goals grid or your snapshot on it. And I'm going to enter full screen, and it's a little cut off. Do you have? In fact, the one I got from you was cut off like this too. So do you have another document, or is this it?
maybe.
You can use the Zoom button maybe.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah. Over on the left, the little magnifier. Yeah. See if that is it. Because I tried on my end and I couldn't get it. Let's see.
Heidi, email it to me because I may be able to do something in a different program with it to make it work.
Perfect.
Somebody else start and I'll send it back to her.
Perfect. That's great. Thank you, Anne. So Heidi, just let's see. Let's hit that Zoom button again and see if it'll take it back smaller.
That's the find thing.
That is the find. You're right.
Yeah,
She doesn't have a Zoom on here, but I probably can edit this and fix it.
Okay, let's come back to you. Go ahead and send that over to
right on share.
send that over to Anne. No, I don't think share. I think if you just send it to her, email it to her, or put it in Telegram, you can do that.
That's what-
Yeah. So while you're doing that, and Anne will be multitasking in the background, then Lynn, why don't we take a look at yours?
Okay.
So pull it up and then share screen.
Keep in mind, I did this like 30 minutes ago. So I've been doing my other homework, but so
Okay.
let me see here. There, share. Can you see this?
Yes, we can now. Wow, that's pretty good for 30 minutes ago.
I'm
Jeez.
practicing my productivity. So,
Yeah.
what I was thinking is that, one is I want to work with, so I came from the corporate world and I want to get far away from that. I don't think that I'd want to work in that space. So I want to work with people who are traveling professionals who are on the go. For example, I came across this because I was talking to my personal trainer who has a business, and she is constantly running between clients at different gym locations, and then sometimes I think at their homes. So that's what gave me the idea. And I just gave some examples like personal trainers, realtors are also on the go, constantly traveling, going to houses, seeing clients, pilots. I just threw that in there, but I don't see how I can work with them.
Mm-hmm.
And do you want me to just go down the?
Yeah. Yep.
Down the
Just walk
line
us
tree?
through it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So who would I help for free? I don't know. I just put, I like helping people who provide a valued service. I think typically people who work in these fields, they love what they do. They went through special training. They got certified, went through that certification education process. They didn't just apply for a job and go through the corporate ladder.
Mm-hmm.
Good at, okay. So I think these questions are for people who haven't found out what they're good at yet or what they love to do. So of course we're all organizers. I love to do that. I would do that for free.
Okay. You're in the right place, except for that you're not going to do it for free. But anyway, go ahead.
Is there an explicit need? So when I was talking to the personal trainer, and I met with her, she wanted to show me what her car looked like because she's in between meetings, she carries this big old bag in her purse, and she just throws everything, her notebooks, her personal training study books, and everything in a bag with really no organization. So I definitely think there's a need because they're constantly traveling. They're just throwing things in bags or boxes and going to meet the next person.
Okay.
Okay. Is the market growing? I think so. I didn't do much research on this, but I think a lot of people are getting away from that 8 to 5 standard corporate desk job, either to start their own business or to work somewhere else in the field.
Okay.
Let's see. So I can help them solve the problem by creating flexible solutions and mobile solutions where they can take with them in their car. They can have like their own little temporary command center in their car or when they're in transit. And then they also can have that home base where they keep the rest of their command center and the rest of their files, because obviously they're not going to carry their whole office with them. So I can create mobile solutions, things that they can take with them to their client meetings or in between those meetings.
Okay.
Profit. I think I can be flexible with pricing. So I didn't do very much research in as far as like how much they make and if they can afford, but I think I can be flexible. Okay. When I put 20 to 25%, I didn't do much research into that.
Yeah, we're doing that. You guys didn't have to do that part. Like, I had said that in a couple of videos, not to worry about the, that part, the search volume and the growth. So that's okay.
Okay. I think there's a great opportunity for recurring revenue because a lot of times these people are too busy to slow down, and they might slow down for maybe 30 minutes to an hour at the end of the day, but still that's not enough hands-on practice to like put the system in place and maintain the system. So they'll probably need constant coaching or consulting, and just they love to have people tell them what to do because that's what they do for other people, personal trainers. Even people who know how to work out, they love for someone to just tell me what to do. How many squats do I need to do? How many push-ups? And they'll do it. So I think they understand that concept and that they'll be responsive to like a monthly subscription of some type.
Okay.
Go to, let's see, presence. How can I be seen as a go-to provider? I think once I get in that community, because I'm thinking that they're a tight-knit group. You know, they know others that do the same or similar things. And if I could join their groups or attend some of their meetings or present, then I can make a name and just be known as, okay, she helps us get people like us get organized. Competitive. So when it says how competitive is the niche, like how competitive is their profession?
No, how competitive is it for you? Like you're serving that niche.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it could be competitive.
Okay.
What messaging can I use? I have to do more research on that.
Okay.
An online presence. I think that might be a challenge because they're not, they're less desk job people, so they don't maintain things like LinkedIn as heavily as the corporate workers do. So I'll have to find where they hang out online.
Yep.
That's all I have for that first one.
Okay, good. We're not going to go through all of them like that in that detail. Just tell us what the other two are. What target avatar is that?
So the second one, I put non-desk jobs.
Okay.
Like restaurant owners, caterers, photographers, videographers, like creative people, event planning people, therapists, occupational therapists, stylists. I'm just brainstorming and I just put down anything. People who work in specific trades, like they go 3 to couple months of training and then now they work in construction management or technicians. These are just the, titles that I threw out. I don't know if there's an actual, how realistic it is.
Okay. All right.
And then the third one is working with nonprofit organizations because I love to volunteer. I love to help the community, and I would just love to work with those groups of people. But I don't know if there's like the affordability and competitiveness. I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay. All right. Nice job. Now
Okay.
scroll. Did you do the avatar snapshot?
No, I didn't get that far.
Okay. That's okay. That's actually okay. That's fine. So based on, for the rest of you guys, before I jump in, based on the videos that you saw and you're going through the process, do you see any questions or any red flags or anything? Kathy, I'm going to call on you. What do you see for Lynn based on what you're seeing on her matchmaker?
Well, I will say I'm impressed with her level of detail.
Yep.
Thank you.
Far surpassed my own. I also had the nonprofit piece, but I was actually considering doing that as a pro bono thing on a quarterly basis, maybe holding like a little application process for that.
I was thinking the same, Kathy.
Yeah, because I would love to help them, but I do question the affordability of it
Yep.
for others. But no, I think it sounds like you've given each area a lot of thought, and it sounds like you would enjoy trying to penetrate those markets and assist.
Based on what you see, Kathy, and anybody else, raise your hand, or just come off mute. Based on what you see with those three, just kind of glancing through the other two, do you see one that you think stands out as the one? Because she's only going to pick one, guys, one. Do you see one that stands out? Anybody? Or any that she should just nix? Go ahead, Anne. You look like you have something to say.
I think the first one sounds like they have more money.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I vote the first one too. I think that's a super interesting niche that I've kind of like thought, oh, I might do a video of how I pack things efficiently. I did have a client recently who really does move around with the bag, and it's fascinating to help them. It's really super fun.
Cool. So money wise, I mean, you guys were all in a business to make a profit, right? To make money and pay your bills and then some, and to accomplish your work and enjoy your life. So I've just, in my experience, with when you go to a lot, and you guys will see this in a lot of networking groups. I know, Catherine, you can back me up on this. Niche 2, you see a lot of those people in the networking groups, but they may refer people to you, but they don't usually have it. This isn't usually a priority for them. Getting organized and creating business systems. They probably need it, but it would be a big, to make the money that you want to make, it would be a big chunk of their income to pay you. And are they willing to do that? You know, so you want, you know, one of the things you want to make sure is it's something, the problem that you solve is something that keeps them up at night. Like it's got to be something that's just like, oh my God, I have to solve this. And just when you end up in front of them, it's like God answered their prayers. You know, that's how extreme really it needs to be for them to, you know, want to work with you. So, and one thing I will just caution, and a lot of people do this, is just, I saw in here you said, oh, I can create different products. You guys already have everything you need to make money right now. You already have a certification and programs that you can sell and in your coaching. You don't, I just want to caution you about going out and creating other products, because that's a big time suck and a distraction. So yeah, you have what you need. You could, basically for this travel professional market, you could do a mini office transformation for them. It's kind of building their mobile office. And they probably have stuff all over their dining room table, or, you know, maybe they do have a home office, but they're kind of between and back and forth. So you want to find that out. You want to find out what is the biggest problem in having a mobile business or a, you know, remote working situation. That kind of stuff.
Well, and that might be a good opportunity to build in using something like Dropbox for like the Swift file solution, if they're going to be doing everything maybe digitally, and helping them create that on the go. Yeah.
Things they can access from no matter where they are.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So things like that, but use what you already have, use what you're already certified in. And I just want to remind all of you too, that especially if you're super busy, if you're working like Kathy and, you've got you've got family, you've got things going on, that the quick start is an opportunity for you to make money without you having to really do anything. If they're at a distance, especially, or they can't afford to have you come in, but there's somebody that would follow a step-by-step plan, they can buy the quick start from you. And then you can offer coaching on top of that. But if you didn't, you could just check in on them and keep, whatever, but they're getting the training, they're getting what they need, and you've made some money and you're working, to get another client. So, so this is a great start. I would, as we continue on and looking at the others, you might be triggered with some additional ideas and thoughts.
Okay.
But you want to get, it truly is important to be able to, for them to be able to pay you for what you're offering, and creating flexible solutions and flexible pricing and all of that. You can certainly do that, but you want to attract the people that from the get-go that can afford your services. Then if you do attract somebody that can't, you have the choice to help them out or, reduce the value and lower the price a little bit. But the goal is for you to attract the people that are like, yes, how much, here's my card, take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
For those more experienced organizers who have done total office transformations, if we're trying to target the people who will pay the most, presumably for a total office transformation, then there needs to be a heavy paper influence in their offices. So, I want to target only women, but I also need to find the people who have the most paper. So like, how do you balance that? Because the people who have the most paper might not always be the people in your niche.
Mm-hmm. Well, it needs to match. See, that's the way to balance that is they're not your target market if they don't fit both of those.
Yeah.
If you go back to, let me see if I can pull it up on my side, because that's a really good question.
Unless you're kind of reframing a total office transformation and calling helping them organize their virtual files.
Yeah, it can be a virtual office transformation. I mean, you can absolutely do that. Hold on a second before I keep talking, because I can't talk and do it at the same time. I want to pull up those frameworks. What did I do with? Oh, here they are. Hold on. Let me show you my screen now. Share. Okay, so let me get back to this page. It needs, in order to really work and be a profitable client for you, it needs to fit all of these. If it just fits your passion and you're passionate about something, but people don't have the problem or they can't pay for it, then that's not going to work. So, you're saying you want to work with professional women. They need to have the problem that you solve. You see what I mean? There's lots of professional women that don't have that problem. Well, that's not who you're marketing to. You want to market to professional women who are overwhelmed with paper and electronic clutter or electronic clutter.
Okay. So
yeah. And then they're professional women. So you're hoping that they can afford your solution. And I think, and then of course your presence, can you be seen as that go-to provider? How competitive is the niche, meaning who else is helping them do that? And not many people do. I mean, nobody does the way we do it, for sure. And then what messaging is being used in the market. And we're going to look at some of that in the audience research video. And then this is important too, Lynn, back to yours. How easily can you target them online? Which social channels dominate, and then your list of interests. If you can't find them, then you're going to have an uphill battle. So you want to be able to do a search and find, can you search for mobile professionals? Okay. And then maybe do a little research and maybe you zero in on realtors, because you certainly can find realtors. I mean, you can find realtors, and that they live out of their car. And if they're a good one, they can probably afford your solution. So I would kind of maybe flesh that out a little bit and see if they fit, if they fit this category. So yeah, just because somebody works out of their car doesn't mean that they fit the rest of these. So think about that. And you're in Atlanta. I mean, you're in an area that has lots and lots of people and lots of professionals.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think you've got some good opportunity there. So yeah, make sure you're checking back when you guys have an idea of a niche. Check back and see, does it check all these boxes? Okay. That's what you're looking for. Okay. Awesome. So who wants to show theirs next? Do you have Heidi's, Anne? Is it ready? Okay, cool. All right. If you want to pull that up and click.
Well, I don't have it. Heidi has it.
Heidi has it back. Okay, hang on. Let me stop my share. All right, Heidi. Heidi. Oh, there's Heidi. You should. Do you guys hear that?
Yeah.
What is that? I don't know what that is. Okay, here we go. Heidi has started screen sharing. Awesome. Thank you, Anne. And Heidi, if you can resend that to me too. All right. Let's see. I'm hearing something. Do you guys hear that? Let me see if I can. If you're moving around, just mute your mic for a second or for a few minutes because I'm hearing a lot of movement. I don't know. Okay. All right. So let me make my screen bigger so I can see this. All right, Heidi, just tell us first who these two niches are. Are you there?
First one.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Maybe here, I'll see if I can. Can you hear me now?
And there's a lot of static. It was better a couple seconds ago.
All right, I'll put these back. I might be on top of the computer. That's better?
Not really.
That's
okay,
not
there.
better?
Yes,
Okay.
that is. Yes.
Okay. All right, so the first one is mom struggling with overwhelm.
Okay.
And then the second one is, I guess, kind of holistic Eastern healthcare providers.
Okay. All right. So let's look at the problem to feel more in control of their life, to be able to enjoy their kids. And then niche 2 is they're very busy helping patients without time to focus on the business side of their practice. Okay. Market grows as moms. Go ahead.
I just wasn't sure how to do search volume.
Yeah, you guys didn't have to do search volume. We're doing that. Yeah. We're doing
I was
that.
like, I'm on the airplane. I can't look it up.
I know. It's okay. Yeah. We're actually going to talk about that after this.
Okay.
So, and the same thing with the market, the growth of the market. So how to's dealing with clutter step by step, maybe team up with kid behavior. How can you solve the problem better? Okay. How can they afford your solution? So the first one you said, I have a lower cost workshop.
Well, that's why I wasn't sure what affordable. I guess I was thinking of if making it more affordable as opposed to what are they doing that they can afford you.
Yeah, it needs to be what are they doing that they can afford you?
Yeah.
I don't want you guys to be thinking, oh, I can lower the price and have flexible payment. No. Can they afford your solution? So maybe, think about this. All moms struggling with overwhelm or
working
moms struggling with, what's
that?
Well,
we talked about it too when you were gone and Barbara was on the call. She was saying how working moms and stay-at-home moms are very different.
Yep.
So I definitely would say working moms because that's where I see. I had this one mom at Sid's old preschool where I just felt horrible. I was like, I don't know how you deal with this. I think I'd have to quit if I was that crazy. Pulled in so many different directions.
Right.
Working
and again, your solution, it's got to also be based on their income level. Like, are they high end where they could afford? I know we all want to help people.
Yeah.
I totally get that.
Which
but
I put in, how do I get it to just go down a little bit? I can't scroll it down.
The little thing on the side, there's like a little scroll. Yeah, that bar. If you touch that bar, go up. There, and click and drag down.
I feel like it goes like
the whole thing.
Yeah. Because I was putting, I think, 50 to 200,000 income.
Okay, that's a
year.
big
Too big.
difference. I mean, that's a big gap. So I would here's my thing. If someone is making $50,000 and your solution is 2,500, that's 5% of their income. Are they willing, somebody that makes 50,000, are they willing to put out 5% of their income to hire you to help them with clutter? Right. Unless it really is bad and they know that you can help them. That's probably not going to be one of their priority expenses. So higher.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Which one of these are you more passionate about?
I think definitely the moms. I think before I was like last year, the year before, I was really, but I wanted to work more with people, kind of the healthcare providers or the holistic health people that are having the patients that they've done all the health part. And now I wanted to help them with the stress part. Mm-hmm. So maybe having some referral partners there.
There you go. Because
they have the moms that are.
Yeah, I was going to say they can be the one. That can be a channel. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely the moms. It's a big one for me.
Okay, excellent. Okay, let's take a look at your the next one.
Okay.
The next page. Okay.
Snapshot.
So so her name is Christine. Okay. She's a 40-year-old mom with 2 kids, ages 3 and 5. Excellent detail. Great job. She lives in a middle-class suburban neighborhood and has her own business in nutrition, helping other women reach their potential as their most healthy self. She is married and makes 50 to 100,000, so probably at least closer to 100,000, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Her husband also makes the same as a 2-income household. That's good. She picks up the kids, and she doesn't necessarily have to make that much then if he's doing that. So if combined, because he may say, here, help her, here's the checkbook. You know what I mean?
Right.
So in the household, okay. So she picks the kids up between 3:30 to 5 every day, and they are busy with sports, dance, and swim lessons during the week and games. Or skiing in the mountains on weekends. Okay. That sounds familiar. Are you guys, is your avatar all yourselves? And that's okay if it is. Okay, cool. So does she know, is this problem, is this something that's keeping her up at night, and is it costing her time with her family?
Yeah, so the person, Christine, is actually the one that I'm doing that switch with and doing her health program.
So this
and
is
I had her in mind because she was just like, no, I will not send you a picture. It's terrible. Like,
okay.
And yeah, it's like she seems to be really well and done and everything else, but the paper and everything, she just.
Okay, write down what you just said. Make sure you jot that down.
What's that?
Because that's something she would probably say to herself or to others. Catherine's shaking her head. Like, I'm really good at everything else in my life, but I just can't keep it together with my office, or I just can't keep the clutter at bay. That is something that we hear, that I'm really good at XYZ, but why can't I freaking file? Why can't I find anything in my office? So you want to write that down, because that's something that she's probably saying either to herself or to others.
And you know what's so crazy? Where did I just saw an Instagram post from someone that used to be in a different 3 to 5 club than me, and they have another business called, it's like assistants. So they hire out assistants for people to do the day-to-day stuff. And they literally said someone's testimonial was about their office being their home office being their dumping ground. Like, that's what I always have said is your home office your dumping ground. And Christine said her thing is that they live in a neighborhood where all the mail goes to like one place, so it must be a smaller box. And she said, I can't deal with it, so I leave it, and sometimes the mailman gets pissed off, and rightly so. She said more than once, and he comes and dumps it on their front doorstep.
Oh my gosh.
He can't fit it anymore. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can help you with the mail.
That's another key thing. Write that down, because maybe in your marketing, it's like, is your is your mailbox overflowing as much as your inbox?
Ooh,
You know,
I like that.
something like that. Because if they have that much physical mail, they probably have a lot of email too. So
Yeah.
good. Those are key things that you want to jot down. Okay, excellent. And then you've got fill in the rest of the stuff at the bottom. Make sure you guys, you have the psychographics completely filled in when you're done, or before you're completely done. And we'll come back to the audience stuff later on. And fill out the, I know you've described them on the right. Make sure you fill out, I don't know if was there a little spot. I'm going to redo these frameworks so y'all can actually write, put stuff in them. I don't like these forms. But if there was a form area there, fill that in. I don't know if there was. Anyway, great job. Okay, who has a question, comment, red flag, or anything for Heidi? Does anybody have a thing that, go back to the niches again?
Oh, yeah.
Because it looks like you've chosen the moms. So it needs to be moms with a combined income, either, combined income of what, 100 to 200,000. I wouldn't do the 50. Then
scroll to it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I can do it this way.
There you go. There's the little thingy. The thingy do bop.
Hey, Heidi.
Yeah.
When we were on the call with Barbara last week, and Kathy, you think you were here for that part too. When I was talking about professional working moms, like this, she was saying, didn't she say, like, I'd say far, far away from like anybody that works in corporate America that's not self-employed, because they're not going to be willing.
Well, yeah, that's why I was thinking, because like Christine is
willing to pay for it.
Yeah, that I was going to say that too. And Barbara was saying entrepreneurs tend to invest more in themselves, whereas big corporate people think that that the companies should pay for stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. There are exceptions, but again, you don't want to be looking for the exceptions, because they I had the client that I worked with in Alaska. She said she wanted her company to pay for it, but they weren't willing, and she knew that it was going to help her, so she ended up investing in it herself.
Yeah.
So you will find those. But are you okay with professional moms that have their own business? Is that what Barbara was leaning towards for you? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
like
think
in general, right? Like
I think I put like mompreneurs like down here, a mompreneurs group, and
okay.
I mean, I think part of too, for like Barbara's always saying, what we do is good for at work and at home, right? You can do it in both. So if they look at it that way, they're also doing an investment in their home life.
Yeah, that's true. People are usually more willing to invest in something that's going to help their business. And so, but you could absolutely say, and it always helps when you say this will carry over into your home life as well, so especially with the command center and all that. So do you think, do you know of where can you find professional or business women professionals, women that own their own businesses? Where would you find them?
Yeah, I mean, Denver keeps being talked about as one of the biggest entrepreneurial cities in the country. So,
yeah.
And I always forget. I mean, I went to Babson, which is an entrepreneurial school at the top for like 25 years now. Yeah.
Wow.
And I remember one of the guys I met with in my old 3-5 club who had gone to Holy Cross, and he's like, "You have to reach out to your network from college."
Oh, like, my goodness, yes.
Yeah, the girl that was the CFO of Dunkin' Donuts was my classmate. I just
okay, Heidi. All right now. Okay. Those people need to be on this. Okay, yes.
I should reach out, because and then there was like an entire article in our magazine from Babson about all the people that work at Dunkin', and 3 of them were women in the picture. And I was like, I need to reach out to Kate. Maybe I can do a program.
Interesting.
Working moms.
So it sounds like what you might want to do is take off the, I would use the holistic healthcare providers as a referral source, certainly. Yeah. But what if you did this again, or you used the niche 3 section, and you did niche 1 for the, one of them for the entrepreneur woman and one of them for the corporate woman, and see what you come up with, see which one fits most of those boxes. And then you want to reach out to some people, like they said, reach back to some of your contacts and just ask them. You know, people in the corporate world, right? You worked with them and you know, you're okay. So ask them, you know, I would love to reconnect and, you know, let you know what I'm doing, find out more about what you're doing now. And then ask them, just say, ask somebody in the corporate world, is this an issue for you? Is clutter and disorganization a problem? Okay. And if they say, no, not really, because you know what? My sister is a therapist, and I just asked her, I said, you know, I know she struggles with disorganization because anytime I go visit her, I end up trying to organize all her stuff. But I said, is this something you would pay for? And she said, no. She said, as a therapist, she said, it's good enough for me. She's like, and she's a hot mess. Don't tell her I said that. But she has stuff piled on her desk. Now she saw some stuff we were doing on one of our Facebook groups a couple years ago, and she actually did declutter and organize her office, and she was so proud. She did it on her own based on just stuff she saw us talking about on Facebook. But she said she wouldn't spend money on it. So and I said, well, you know, what if you could serve 2 more clients or 2 more patients? She called them patients. I said, what if you could serve 2 more patients if you had an extra 2.5 hours, you know, a week, 30 minutes a day? If you had an extra 30 minutes a day, 2.5 hours a week, you know, what would you do with it? And she said she would leave early, but she said it wasn't a priority to see anymore. And it wasn't, she felt like her schedule was good enough and the paper was good enough and it wasn't a bad enough problem. So yeah, as a market, I wouldn't use that as a specific target market unless you run into therapists who say, oh my God, this is the worst and I'm not getting anything done, and they're willing to pay you for it. So I think those could be your referral sources, but I would really go through this exercise again with the corporate working moms and see what comes out. But I wouldn't choose that one until you talk to some and ask them. You know what I mean? Yeah.
For the moms or the corporate moms?
Yeah. The corporate moms. Yeah. I think we already know the moms that have their own business. I mean, Anne, that's you, right? You know, you were the corporate person, but you are the mom, the professional mom that owns her own business, and you do struggle with these things. Mm-hmm. And if you weren't an engineering mindset and have your own systems and be in this program, you would probably, if this was clutter was a problem for you, you would probably pay for somebody to come help you with that. Right.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I feel like I hear other moms saying more than they do talk about clutter, but I feel like when a lot of working moms are talking about clutter, they're talking about house clutter, like toys and stuff all over the kitchen, and not really like they struggle a little bit with like all the papers you get for your kids and stuff. But like nobody's going on and on about like, I just don't know what to do with my mail and I don't know where to find my papers and I can't find what I'm looking for when I need it. Like I don't hear that a lot. What I hear a lot is like the complete overwhelm in terms of like time management and priorities and getting to all the places that you have to be at all the different times and coordinating everybody's schedules, like all that stuff. And so like clutter doesn't resonate.
Right. So clutter may not be the right word, but you know that if they have clutter, that's one of the reasons they have the overwhelm and the time management issues. So, but they may not respond to that word necessarily. They may not identify with that. But if you hear them say, you know, oh, I have no time, I'm running here, running there, I'm overwhelmed, those are key words. And then you can say, well, you know, do you have, you know, tell me more about that. Tell me more. Have them fill out a scorecard. That's going to tell you a ton right there.
I was telling Anne, I did a Survey Monkey survey, and at the time it was great. I gave it to Sydney's the director of her preschool, and she sent it out to all the parents for me.
Awesome.
So I had like 26 responses, and so I asked about paper clutter, digital clutter, and if you have 300 or more emails in your inbox, and digital clutter came back 86% that they all, and that really surprised me over paper stuff. So. Yeah. Interesting. And like I said, I think people are going to identify with the digital stuff more. I mean, it's also even more socially acceptable to say, oh, I have so much email. Oh, I have, the electronic clutter is more socially acceptable than to say I'm a mess, but but they may be hiding that mess. So,
You know what I mean? It's usually it's still there, whether they identify it as a problem or not. So you do have to, so maybe you're not speaking to the problem of clutter, you're speaking to the problem of overwhelm and stress and anxiety, right?
Yeah, that's what's gonna. Overwhelm is the big word.
Overwhelm is a big one, right? Carrie, that's Carrie's whole TED Talk. Is
the time in the day, and
yes, exactly. So that's a very good point.
And I think one of the things with the newer, like this mom that came to my Peace and Productivity that I'm friends with, she, I mean, she's like, I have 2 kids now. I used to work 80 hours a week. I can't get what I used to get done. I don't have 80 hours a week anymore.
Yeah, right.
And she has to go to a coffee shop to do work because they changed their office so much from having an office where she could close the door and get stuff done and concentrate to now it's these open concepts.
Yeah.
I don't know who thought that was better, but I think
oh my God, I have no clue who thought that was a good idea.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it's like, she's like, I have to go to a coffee shop and leave my office just to get work done.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, and Lindsay just posted, people will vent about the consequences of the problem, not the problem itself. And so when you hear overwhelm, time management, anxiety, stress, that there's hidden stuff there that's leading to that. And a lot of times it is electronic, it's overwhelmed with email, and a lot of times it is paper, whether they say it or not. So that's good to know for the messaging piece, right?
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
A lot of people think they have a time management problem, and one of my get on the soapbox things that I talk about all the damn time is you actually have a physical space problem first. That's what's affecting your time management.
And they don't realize that.
And they don't have a clue. It goes right over their heads.
Yeah.
What do you mean space? Like too much stuff in their space?
Clutter, disorganization with the papers,
picking up all the time,
disorganization on their computers. I've got a gal who I just cannot get past doing a physical planner, but then she's like, I don't use it. And I'm like, well, if you don't use it, then we need to look at a different system for you. And she thinks she has a time management problem. She has a physical problem. She doesn't have a way to accurately write down what her project management and to-do stuff is.
Sounds like she has a system problem too. She just doesn't, she's not
Yeah.
coordinating all the pieces so that they flow and work together for her.
Yeah.
And 13 clients single-handedly because she just lost her assistant at Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah. So you want to hear how they're defining the problem. She's not probably going to say, oh, I'm so overwhelmed and my problem is I don't have the right planner, or I have too much. She's not going to say that, but that, So when we go, that's why I say when you go into these networking events or you meet people, you don't want to just start rattling off, oh, I have this package and I have this package and this is what we help people with processes and systems and it's like that goes over their head. Talk to them about anxiety and overwhelm and losing that contract because they couldn't find the person's number to get back to them in time, or they missed their kid's event because they couldn't find, the slip that had the address on it, or things like that, the real stuff that they're saying. And you guys know that because you probably have said it, or maybe not because you've handled these systems. But yeah, Catherine admits, Catherine's like, hey, I came looking for help and then became a consultant. So yeah. All right. So we're going to look at that video. I do want to look at one more. I want to look at Michelle's. So if you, Heidi, will stop share, and I want you guys to take yours back and refine them after this conversation. And Michelle, if you will pull yours up and share, that would be awesome. And then after this, we're going to jump over to the video. And let's see.
This has actually been really good conversation because I've actually just been rethinking a lot of mine as I've heard, niching it down even further, that I think is going to be very helpful. So thanks to everybody for all their comments on what we're seeing.
Exactly. Yeah, this is really helpful. All right, Miss Michelle, tell us about your 3 big picture first. Who are they?
My first one is business women who work from their home office.
Okay.
The second one is creative people, photographers, jewelry makers, interior designs, mostly because I already work with that group. And then corporate employees who struggle with a lack of effective information management systems.
Okay.
Yeah.
So same conversation. You've got the businesswomen, women who work from home, and then you have the corporate employees. So I would want to flesh those out. The middle one, my thought is that they're not going to have the money to pay you what you want to make.
You'd be surprised.
Okay, maybe I would. Maybe I would.
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah, definitely. But the only reason I say that one is because when I went through and I looked at all my clients and tried, it was an exercise I did. I don't remember for what. I tried to find commonalities among them, and it was really that they are all in a creative field.
Okay.
So it just really depends on their situation. So they're not necessarily just earning money with that. One is her husband is a very, very successful lawyer.
Okay.
So she has money. Another person has inherited a lot of money.
Okay.
So their creative field is just something that they're doing as a hobby,
right,
and selling it, but they have a lot of money to pay. So I seem to find these kind of people. So
do they come to you?
Might not be making a lot of money from their creative endeavor, but they are in a situation where they do have money.
Okay, gotcha. Now, if you wanted to target them, say with a Facebook ad, for example, would you know how to do that?
No, not really.
Right. Like how would you put in, what demographics would you put in, and like?
Yeah, they're really, really all over the place.
Yeah. But okay. So some of these other people might be them as well, right? The business women who work from home, that could be them. That could be the one and the same for some of these, right?
Yeah, definitely. And definitely the first one is the one I'm going to concentrate the most on, but it was a good exercise to kind of go through some different,
is that the
things
one
that I was thinking about? Just going through the whole exercise was really, really helpful.
Good.
And the businesswomen will be really great for me. I'm part of a really great networking group that has a lot of people that trade services and need this type of thing. So I think it's a good place to start.
Okay, excellent. And I'm going to look through all of your submissions in detail as well. So, and just highlight things, not necessarily on this call, but I'm going to go through these too. And so you feel good about, Kathy, are you multitasking?
Yes, ma'am. I'm setting my laser coaching appointment with you because I failed to do it now before the end of November.
I see that.
So now I can't talk to you about this before the end of the month. So jumping in.
Okay, I'm just laughing when I get a notification. You're right here. You're funny. Catherine says, creatives can be really disorganized. I was an interior designer, and a fair amount of designers have rich husbands and no ability at design, but I digress. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess I was more thinking of when I saw, I would think differently of the interior designers. My cousin is an interior designer in Jacksonville, Florida, very high end. She would fit this niche for sure. I guess I was thinking photographers and jewelry makers, unless it's like, you guys that came to who was here, the retreat, Kathy, did you come? Oh, you didn't come to the last one. Anyway, we have one of our speakers. Her husband is a very high end jeweler in town, like the top of the line jeweler. Carrie was here. And so him for sure certainly would fit that one. But when I saw jewelry makers, I immediately thought like Etsy and creatives. Wow. That's what came to mind when I saw creative.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Just, you know what? It's funny because if you take out, let's see, in this group, if you take out the jewelry maker that I actually work with, what's left are women that work from home.
Okay.
So they do overlap.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
excellent.
It also includes like a lot of realtors.
Yeah.
I think other people have noted that as well. So.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to target a household income at a certain level. How do you research that down? Because in a way, I was thinking of that originally for my solopreneur opportunity, that maybe they've got a husband who's got a great paying corporate job.
Yeah.
She's at home and kind of doing her own thing. So maybe she's not making as much on her own, but their combined household income is reasonably substantial.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, because you wouldn't be able to, again, I'm going back to Facebook is like the premier as far as creating an ad that targets specific people. I think you can't, I don't know how they know what people's household income is, but that's one of the things that you can check, one of the boxes that you can check. So yeah, that's a good question. Again, I think you guys could go through that activity that Lynn did. I'll post it for you guys, but the ideal client interviews was that helpful to you, Lynn? And Michelle, you did some of that too, right?
I did it as well. Yeah. There was at least one that was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like when you kind of get the idea like these, you've done this work now, reach out to some people that fit these and ask them questions, right, Lynn? How was your experience with that?
I thought it was really helpful. I didn't I was sort of just reaching out to anyone, so it didn't particularly all fall under like one niche.
Yeah, because you really didn't know what your niche would. Yeah, exactly. So go ahead.
So I thought it was interesting to hear. And then some people act like, oh, I don't have an organization issue. And I just said, okay.
And that's okay. That's okay. Then that tells you right there. Look at who, that they're not in that's not your target market. But I think as you do this work, now you're a little bit clearer on who that is. Go find some people like that and just ask them. It could be your friends. It could be family members, friends of family. Not necessarily family, because they're not you want to talk to somebody that doesn't know you really super well.
Yeah.
And get honest feedback from them. But ask them, are these some problems that, that they or their, friends and the people that they work with have? Just kind of start getting some feedback from that. There is a form. It's called the ideal client interview. It's on the network, but I know where it is. It's actually in the consultant collection in module 4 or lesson 4, but I'll post it for you guys if you want it. But
does it have like sample questions, or is it just telling you should do this?
No, it has questions. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, this is great job.
I just want to say about the targeting that the women that have the more money.
Yeah.
For me, it actually is quite easy. I live in an affluent community, even if I myself am not. All I need to do is look out around me, and I see the money. It's all around me, and so I'm in the PTA. I'm in the Chamber of Commerce. So I'm in all these organizations where I'm meeting these moms. It helps that I have a daughter in school. So that is one of the reasons that I picked that as well. It's because I am surrounded by a lot of money.
Okay, excellent. Good. Then your assignment is to take that. Well, you've done some of it. So with this particular avatar, this particular niche, find a few of those and talk to them. Right?
Yeah, I have for my,
Okay. Yeah. Excellent. And that's who, and that's who this is? This is Phaedra?
Yeah.
Interesting name. Is that a real person?
Well, I know of Phaedra, but it's not her.
Oh, okay. I
just wanted something that was alliterative with photographer.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Phaedra is a morning person who gets up early to do some editing. She walks 2 of her kids to school. She takes her youngest with her on an outing to Chicago Botanic Garden. I love the detail. This is great. She takes tons of landscape shots and several of her daughter. After school, the babysitter watches the kids while she goes to a family fall shoot. Dad gets home. They make dinner. I'm trying to click on your thing myself and I can't. Dad makes the kids go to bed and she has a chance to review the photos she took that day. Okay. Do you know people with this avatar that fits this? Yeah. Okay. and the income is certainly where it would need to be. Yep. Okay. Okay. So are these people that have hired you in the past for residential organizing?
Yes. And one of the reasons that I was attracted to this is because the one thing they all struggle with is and managing everything in the household.
Yeah.
So honestly, I haven't done a lot of work with ones that have a business too much, but I have started. I've got a couple realtors that I'm working with. I'll still do regular organizing on the side because if they're working from home, chances are they're related. They're kind of interwoven. So there's still a little bit of that other part of it.
Exactly. Okay. And you, again, the home office for the business of life. Every household needs that. And it's basically the same thing, but it's for home papers like taxes and mail and kids paperwork and medical stuff, things like that. So that's great. Real quick question, Carrie, or can you come off mute for a second? When you came into the program, you were doing residential organizing and then you transitioned into business, right?
Yeah, I had been doing both, but.
You had been doing both?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you were wanting to do more business?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you do you still have a handful of residential, or have you been trying to wean those out?
Yeah, I still have a handful of people that have been my clients for 5-6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they just stay with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I also have, because I have Lulu that works with me, just very part-time contract employee. Because what happens is I have so many people that they have their home office. And so I get hired to go for that and it morphs. And they're like, well, and the whole home office for the business of life. So they have their home office, but then the other, part of the problem is in their kitchen where all the papers are. And then you start looking at that and then they're like, oh, well, this is overflowing, that's overflowing. So very often I end up bringing her in and we kind of work side by side because if you work with people that work from home, you have to be prepared for that because it's going to morph because their papers aren't like their problem isn't confined to just their little office.
Right.
It's going to be their whole house.
So
you don't have to necessarily get hands-on with that. I mean, you could just give them the ideas and the homework and, the strategies. But since I have her and she's available a lot, I can get hands-on to help those other parts.
Yeah. So that would be something for you, Michelle, down the road. Like right now, you're still doing it because it's income, and they're clients that you already have. So as you move more towards business side, even the home office for the business of life, like that kind of stuff, if that's really what your desire is, then maybe have somebody else in your area that could take on that you can kind of subcontract some of the residential stuff, right?
That is a good idea. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And it positions you, like Carrie said, it positions you as the strategy, the methodology. You hear Barbara say methodology, mechanics, and maintenance. You're doing all of that right now. We want to get you more towards the methodology, and you're overseeing, and you have other people implementing. So that's
and
great.
Honestly, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like I love the jobs where we're like all there at the same time. And, she's like doing a pantry and we're down the hall and like, I don't know, really good energy. Those jobs are really fun for me. And they see you as even more of an expert because they're like, wow, she can bring in people and we can solve all my problems in one day.
Yeah, exactly. So that's good. But you're up here, you're the methodology and you're like, you've coordinated.
And what's funny is I've never told her anything, but like I always dress nicer, even if it's just like comfy pants and flats. But Lulu, just because of her personality, she always has on exercise clothes. So it's kind of funny because like I even look different when I go in.
You look like the CEO of your company. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's a good point. That's a very good point. You want to be comfortable, but you want to also be professional to be seen as that next level. So,
and along those same lines, I'll just say one more thing real quick, because this was something I think Barbara said years ago, and I don't know if she's still says it in the training because it's been so long since I've been in training. But one of the things that really stuck with me is she said, even if it's like your neighbor or your best friend, if you're doing a total office transformation, you can have someone drop off the supplies like a day ahead of time, or, you know.
So you're not like sludging it all up there.
Yeah. And that just really stood out to me. Not to say that I always do that, but that just was like, whoa, that's such a good idea.
You want to be positioned as the leader. Yeah. I think she told a story too. That's a good point. Barbara told a story once too, that she was hired by a big executive or business owner. I don't remember what he was, but in New York City. I mean, big wealthy guy. And he hired her to help organize his office. And he came in and she was pulling apart paper clips. Like, you know how paper clips get clipped together, and she was sorting out paper clips. And he was like, I'm paying you all this money and you're sorting paper clips. And that's when she said she realized that she needed to position herself differently. And, if possible, have an assistant come with you, or have somebody. If he had an assistant, she could have had his assistant doing that piece. So if the client has somebody that can help, so you want to kind of position yourself as because especially you're raising your prices. So you want to be seen as, you've got this, certification in something that's going to be life-changing for them. And, you don't want to see them, or them to see you as a, I don't know how to say it, but you know what I mean. You guys get it, right? Mm-hmm. Positioning. Okay. So Anne has left us. Let me ask you guys this. It is 4:06 on Friday. Do you want to see the audience research video together now, or do you want me to just post it so you guys can watch it on your own? Who wants to stay? Raise your hand. All right. Kathy, Michelle.
I'll stay.
You'll stay. Elizabeth will stay. You guys are staying?
I'll watch it. Can we watch it later?
Yeah. You can watch it later. Yeah. Carrie, you staying?
I'll stay, but someone, my doorbell might ring, so I might have to jump off real quick.
Catherine says she has a hot date. Catherine has a hot date. Okay. Yes, Catherine, we'll make sure you have the video. We'll make sure you have the video. In fact, this is what I would like to do, because I want you guys to easily get to that video without having to go through this whole one. So what I would like to do is end this meeting, and then you guys click the same link to come right back on. And that way I'll start a new recording. So it'll be really easy for you just to watch that video. Is that cool?
Yes.
So if we gotta watch it later, will it be in Telegram or?
Yeah, it'll be in Telegram. It'll be on the Google Doc in Telegram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'll make sure you know. I'll make sure you know. All right, Michelle, if you want to stop sharing, and then I'm gonna.
I can't get the menu to pop up.
Oh, okay. I'll just. I can hit stop participant sharing. I didn't know I had that control.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right, so I'm going to end the meeting, and everybody just click that link. Everybody have it?
Yes.
It's in Telegram as well. Okay, I'll be right back here in a second.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.